How about an enormous cheer for the legend that is at the side of the stage for us now. Here he comes, Mr. Jason David Frank. I think they're just going to put it up for you now, and then we should be good to go. we may be miming. No, we should be okay.
You guys good, everyone? Testing, you guys good today? Man, it's so good to be. I just keep thinking Scotland. I'm here in Scotland. I got so many awesome fans stepping off a plane so far away from us, and the fan base is incredible, and I want to thank you guys for being here, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. So I always thank you to the fans, 100%. I appreciate y'all. I really do.
You are a big believer in the convention culture, aren't you? I've seen you at these things before in San Diego, and well, all over, to be honest, and I've seen the interviews you've done. You're a big believer in this.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, when I first heard of Comic-Cons, I didn't really know what it was, and I was going just to check out some Wolverine books. Literally, like, yeah, I'll go. They're like, you want to come? I'm like, sure. I'll check out comic books. Sounds fun. Years ago, and I went to a Comic-Con convention, and I never got a chance to check out a comic book because I was so busy signing autographs. I was like, what is this thing? And I went because I wanted to just be a kid again, I guess. I just love looking at superheroes. Everything's super safe. You got Superman around, Spider-Man around. You have so many things to look at. So when I started them, I had a whole I was from a fan. So I started Comic-Cons just as a fan perspective, and now I'm on this side, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I still like looking at comic books, and I still haven't got a chance to look around too much, but I think it's great. People can be a kid again, drop your guard, and just have fun. And Comic-Cons are great for kids. I've seen a lot of little kids over here too. Parents, you're training them right on the Power Ranger thing, I'll tell you that. You're training them right.
When you were a kid and you were going to conventions, who would you have queued up for an autograph or to come and see a Q&A like this?
I work with him every show. The Incredible Hulk, right? David Hasselhoff I have not seen. I love the Knight Rider. Chips, I was a big fan of Chips. I do shows with those guys. Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, Daisy Dukes is in the green room. She's older now, but she's still in Daisy Dukes. Everybody. I mean, Lou Ferrigno, Chuck Norris. I've done shows with Chuck Norris. Is that weird? I mean, it's kind of cool. Chuck's like, congratulations on your rank. We're like the same rank in martial arts. And he told me, which I never forgot, recently, he said, my career did not start until I was 50. I'm 46. So it gave me like hope. Like, what? You didn't start your career until you're 50? Literally, his career took off when he was 50. So thank you, Chuck. But anyway, go and do all these shows. I mean, I see him in the green room, and I get to know the real person, which they're all great, not just their characters. Nothing's more than a letdown than meeting someone that's really not nice to you, and then you walk away and go, that's happened before, but good things hasn't happened too often.
You're not going to tell us who that person is, eh?
He's gone. He was here yesterday. He's gone now. I don't know. But, it's good. Everything's okay, but he's gone.
I mean, was he somebody that you looked up to as well?
Yeah, I still love his movies. I love his movies. I love TV shows. I was a huge fan. Huge. And I'm not going to talk anything, but it's the worst when you want to take a picture on Instagram and then it turns out to be a completely different story and you're like mind-blowing. Because I'm still, even though age-wise, I grew up watching. I'm still a huge fan. I mean, I'll still go home and watch Bloodsport. I am. Well, that's the truth. I love it. So, but yeah.
And we've got Michel Kesey here as well in the building. He's going to be next up on the Q&A actually as well.
There's a lot of people. Someone came into the green room and said, "Excuse me, have you seen Christopher Lloyd?" And I instantly said, "Yeah, he went back to the future." Right. Huh? Yeah, he went back to the future. No, there's a lot of good people here.
You mentioned about your martial arts background. You are probably the deadliest person in this building right now. Just talk us through, for those of us, I know a lot of you guys know, but I like to hear it. Talk us through the different martial arts that you've conquered and how much sacrifice went into learning all of that.
Well, martial arts for me is something that's in your heart. You know, you don't need to brag about it. You don't need to challenge anyone. I'm just saying, a true martial artist is in their heart. And I started martial arts when I was 4, and I never understood all the codes of the dragons. They'd be like, okay, you ready? Brotherhood, dedication, respect, cooperation, discipline, confidence, attitude, and self-respect. What's your codes of the dragon? Brotherhood, dedication. I didn't know what those words were. I just said them because I didn't want to get in trouble. And as I got older, you start realizing that all these words are implemented into your life. The codes of the dragons. You know, when someone says, I live by the codes, it's like, no, you don't. Because you do this, that. You know what I mean? And we all make mistakes, but trying to live by the codes of the dragon, trying to live by certain beliefs is really hard. So growing up, I was captivated by the moves. Like Bruce Lee, you know, I would line up to see him. He's awesome. But anyway, watching, you know, people grow up and doing the martial arts is something that I love. Doing the moves. Then all of a sudden they talk about philosophy. I would get lost a little bit. I do the moves, and as I get older, I love talking about more of the philosophy. Because truth, it's truth. Having martial arts should be in your heart. And I was in the green room trying to think of this bully awareness thing. You know, everyone's doing it. Will Smith, all these other people are doing it. And, you know, to be kind is not weak. You know what I mean? And being, I'll read it to you. I forgot. I wrote it. And this is something like I love thinking about philosophies in the martial arts. Being kind is not weak, but winning with kindness is tough. And meaning that you could be nice, but winning with kindness is tough, or it's tough for you to do. And so through martial arts, I learned so many different things, weapons and nunchucks and bow staff, and I continue my training only with people that have the master philosophy mindset. I want to learn philosophy now. I want to snatch the pea from the hand. I want to like catch flies with chopsticks, you know? That's what I'm into now. But it's been great. I'm 46. I've been in martial arts my whole entire life since I was 4. There's a lot of kids that started karate, and karate's great. But remember, karate's not a seasonal sport. And people think, oh, I play soccer or football or whatever. Karate is a lifetime sport. It's lifetime. That's why when people come and talk to me about quitting at my karate schools, I got Rising Sun karate schools, and people come talk about quitting, I'm the wrong person to talk to about that. Because martial arts is discipline. And everyone can learn discipline. So if you're training at a martial arts school that's push-ups, it's okay. But if you're training at a martial arts school that's expanding your mind and teaching you discipline, then that's what you need to have. And so I kind of live by it. I try to, you know, still feel like a superhero. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of things I did and don't do no more. Because I think you all deserve a superhero. There'd be nothing worse than to see someone up here out of shape, messed up on stuff. It ruins your perception of childhood. You know what I mean? That's why I don't even really cuss on Instagram, or like never catch me cussing out there, because I just don't. Do I at home sometimes? Yeah, maybe. But I don't in front of you guys, because right now I'm looking at children. All of y'all. No matter how old you are, I'm looking at children that grew up watching a TV show. So martial arts has definitely changed my life, and martial arts got me the job as the Green Ranger. Nothing else. It wasn't my acting, it wasn't my looks, a combination of everything, but karate. I went in there and did this killer audition and just blew everyone away. And that was 26 years ago. That's before you can get stunt doubles and do all this. So when I went in there, they were like, can you come back tomorrow? And that's literally how I got the role. And thank you all Power Rangers in the back for representing love over there. They're always here dressing up and representing us, so we appreciate it. But yeah, that's how I got the role, through my martial arts.
When you got it, you must have been so excited about the role. How much did you know about how big a sensation, a phenomenon this thing was going to be?
You know, for me, I know when I'm on something when people don't want me to do it. I know I got a gut feeling about it, and nobody liked Power Rangers at that time. You have to understand, taking a job like that, almost everybody made fun of you. No one believed in the job. Everybody that saw the show, and they were trying to sell it for 8 years. They said, no. Finally, Fox bought it, and the girl that bought it was getting fired because she bought the show. The owner was like, I cannot believe you brought me this product. You're fired. we're going to give 6 episodes, and if this does not get through, you're fired. And she put 6 episodes on and believed in it, and then it became a worldwide hit. So when I was the Green Ranger, not everybody wanted the job. Everybody was like, ha ha, ha ha. I thought it was cool. Green wasn't my best color back then, because green is one of the least popular car color you'll ever see in your life. And you didn't have green shoes, green Gucci suits back then. Rick Ross is rapping about it. Green was just a very unique color, but then I realized, that's why the Green Ranger is going to be unique. You know, so any kids or anybody challenged out there with something that you're like, you know, but I'm born with this and I'm born with that, or, you know, like for me, I write a lot of poetry now that deals with mental health things and trying to reach out, but that's what makes you unique. You know what I mean? And so anyone out there that has something that's like, oh, it makes you unique. When I saw the costume, I instantly thought, I'm going to be unique. I don't care if people don't like green. I'm going to be unique, and being unique made you a legend. And you can make a difference in the world. You know? And so anyway, that's the kind of things I think about. And so, yeah, I was the Green Ranger many years ago. Still representing green. Green's not a bad color. I got green shoes, green ties. I'm not wearing green today, but it's all right.
How many of the outfits do you get to keep? How many have you got at home? And do you ever wear them? Like for any sort of practical joke or party or anything?
No, I mean, I can still fit in spandex, which is nice, you know. I do have them hanging up in the karate schools. I have Dino Thunder, I have the Green Ranger, but it's not like they gave them to you, you know. It's kind of like you just take possession of them and be like, hey, that's me, I'm taking it, and, you know, stuff like that. But I do got a lot of props. The original Dragon Dagger, if you guys follow me on Instagram, the JDFFN, Jason, David, Frank, Fearless, Frank was my fight name, and then Nation, we just had a Nation. So JDFFN, I show people the original Dragon Dagger, and it is like showing you 8-track or VCR for kids. They're like, wow, it's so old but cool looking. The dagger is just made of like foam, and I have the original one. And the props, you know, if you guys know the Green Ranger shield, even on the show, you know there's 2 different shields, right? You got the Japanese shield, and then you got the American shield, kind of like what he's wearing, is more of an American shield, which is kind of like more floppy shield than so they tried the Japanese footage, they tried recreating it, and they couldn't get the shield right. So that's why you see different things. You see the shield, Japanese footage, American shield, me. So when I fight Jason in the Dark Dimension, that was actually me in the suit. They don't do that nowadays because they just get a stunt double, throw a helmet on and film. So I actually spent a lot of time in that suit, which sometimes, you know, they bought it from Japan, but the Green Ranger was in and out. And then someone asked me about a rumor. I don't know if you're in here now. They said, was there a rumor where when you lost your powers that people around the world kids petitioned to bring me back? They were calling Fox saying, I'm not eating, not going to school, literally. And, you know, getting a call from, I don't care, they care about numbers. They care about lawsuits. They care about their perception of public. So they instantly said, we need this guy back. I don't care, bring him back. Kids aren't eating, parents are calling us, not emailing, because we didn't have all that stuff back then. They were calling the studio, Fox Studios, you need to bring Green Ranger. Click. All right, Fox Studios, I can't believe you didn't click. Over and over and over again. And so they brought me back as the White Ranger. So I came back because we ran out of Japanese footage. And then we did more as the White Ranger, yes. Then we did the Ninjetti suits, which was kind of, Ninjetti was original, I think. Original idea, right? Not in Japanese footage yet. It was a white ninja, man.
You must have turned down lots of other opportunities to stay within this franchise. What is it that's kept you loyal within it? Well, you've just fallen in love with this thing, haven't you?
Yeah, well, you know, I was hired for like 10 to 15 episodes. And when I started the show, you had all the original colors. They all had consistent jobs. Everybody was staying there. Maybe season 2, 3, 4, 5. I knew I was in and out. So the love for the character, yes, but not the regret of leaving. So I couldn't fall in love with it too much of what I was becoming. I had to fall in love with who I was that day. So I put all my energy in that day thinking there's going to be an end and they're just going to go blow out the candle and I'm done. So when that day came, okay, I prepared myself. You know, you prepare yourself for war. You prepare yourself as a captain of a ship. Guess who's getting off? Everyone. But you're the captain, and you go down with the boat. So at that time, I was prepared to step away and say I was happy. Because for me, those episodes, in my opinion, were the best. Nobody had a girlfriend. Nobody was evil. Nobody was telling this and that. I did. My character did. So when I left, I was prepared to leave and go on to what's called VR Troopers. You guys remember, that was my show, Cybertron. They said, hey, you're leaving Green Ranger, we're going to have you star in your own show, Cybertron. How would you like that? How would you like to go next door and get your own studio? And I was like, great. Because changes, remember in the Mighty Morphin, people left and came and left. Very stressful, you know? I mean, 3 people left and Twee and all, and I was like, oh, then we had to replace them, so it was a lot of unstable going on around set. So I was going to do VR Troopers, so I did fall in love, not fall in love with the character, but fell in love with what I did. Showed up to set, I'll do the kick. Let me go in the helmet. They're like, dude, calm down. I'll do it. You know, I was like that, I'll do, raising my hand all the time. Me. And I think that I never wanted to be the leader, but if you're meant to lead, God will give you that position. And it just happened to be leader, and I was like, no, I like Tommy. Put me on the side. I don't want to be the leader in case you all smash and something happens. I don't want to be responsible. So I ended up becoming the leader of many different seasons. And the love of it, going back to Megaforce and Ninja Steel. And when we talk about turning down other jobs, I don't care. Look who I got schools. I'm happy with my students. I got businesses. I'm pretty happy with who I am because I embrace it. Every show's around the world, and I'll be honest, when I come, you either get something at the table or you don't. They're not going to pay me to be here. You're not going to pay me to be on stage in a Q&A. I don't. That's not my life. My job is a hobby. That's when y'all come up, I make y'all smile, and I'm happy to everyone, regardless of what you get. I'm the same to everyone. And that's just how I try to live, is to be that hero when I want to meet someone and be like, wow, you know? And anyway.
Well, with that in mind, rather than me go through a list of questions here, these are your biggest fans here. Let's hear from them. Put your hand up if you've got questions. There's a gentleman there. Do you mind coming just a little bit closer, please? Be nice and loud.
What colour Power Rangers were you?
The colors, I was green, and then I became white, and then I was red, and then I was a black Dino Thunder, and then recently the Lord Draken one. But many different colors except pink. I wasn't the Pink Ranger. Sometimes. On the weekends.
I think he's showing you a very special one here, Dino Thunder.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that. He's got a Dino Thunder helmet behind you. Look. Hold the helmet up. That's Dr. Oliver, dude. Good job. You know, you guys know number one fear in America, right? The number one fear in America around the world is public speaking. Number one fear around the world, public speaking. So you have a little kid asking a question. Imagine how hard that'd be if you were that, you know. So he did a good job.
That's a good job, man. Well done.
Yeah.
There's a question over here for you.
Hi, Jason. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
When did it film that when the Andrew, how did you feel it was to film that, and what was your best scene?
Oh, Ivan News. First of all, I really enjoyed doing the movie. Do you guys know who Ivan News is? Paul Freeman, right? Paul Freeman did Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was an actor, and I was so excited to work with an actor. And he had these really high boots on. He was kind of a not tall guy, but he had all these high boots on, and he'd walk around like almost falling, like, ow, the Power Rangers! And so they had to watch what he was walking on. So I thought he was gonna fall. I didn't have YouTube back then to film it, but let me get my autograph book. I thought he did a really good job on that. Because back then we didn't have autographs. I mean, we weren't really signing a lot of autographs, but now we are. She said, okay, but get your autograph book. Let me sign it for you. So it was good. I thought the Power Ranger movie had some good action. I think it had more action than the newest movie that came out. And I enjoyed it. So Ivan Ooze was a good villain.
We have another one for you here. Absolutely amazing outfit. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh.
So over the years, we've seen the Power Rangers franchise switch from Swan to Disney and now it's going to Hasbro. How do you feel Hasbro are going to take it? Do you think they're going to do well with it, or do you think they're going to run it into the ground as fans fear that's going to be the case with the Hasbro with other franchises?
when a company leaves the hands of a creator, like when Starbucks CEO stepped away from Starbucks, Starbucks started closing over 1,000 stores because the creator is what brings the passion. So if you look at the statistics, just based off numbers, and I'm just throwing them out there, Saban, number one, sold it for a high price to Disney. Disney dropped it. They called me back. Can you save the show? Can you come back as Dino Thunder? Can you come back as Dr. Oliver? It was like this. And then all of a sudden, Saban bought it back in the hands of the creator, in the hands of the passion. Where did Saban go? Far. Now we're at a stagnant with Hasbro. I don't know. If I was Hasbro, I'd be dropping some anime Power Rangers. I'd be dropping Lord Draken series. I'd be putting other originals in the movie. I wouldn't have fired the original movie cast that they just did. Now they have to reboot a reboot of a reboot. It becomes difficult. So it's the passion, and that's why I'm here. Like my fan base stayed consistent. It don't matter if you're Saban, Hasbro, or no one. My fans will always remain the same. So they need to understand the fan base. See, Power Rangers is not really understood. You have DC, you have Marvel. We never belonged to any universe, except in the Japanese footage, but we didn't. I love comics. And when I did Bloodshot for Valiant, Ben Diesel already filmed it. It's coming out February. But when I did Bloodshot, I was like, I'm in a comic book. 1992 in Valiant. So I was part of a brand. But see, Power Rangers is not, it's hard to understand it. It's like going to Starbucks and ordering a large coffee. You can't say large. Large is as small as a tall. It's like, what? What? Give me a Starbucks language. Just give me a coffee. What kind? Vente? What did you say? It's a hard language to understand. So the brand needs to study their fan base and go where the fans want to go, not where corporate wants to go. Give the fans what they want. Lord Draken series on Netflix would have been the highest rating Power Rangers series ever, because you could bring back all the originals. You could bring back almost any Ranger from any universe into that Lord Draken show. And Green Ranger movie can stand its own. You know what? I was thinking this a long time ago. You could have done a Green Ranger movie and then, let me do a movie called Joker. Joker's so great that they stepped outside the brand and gave him his own stuff. Do that with the brand. Go back and put them as kids if you want. And tell a story of how they got into Angel Grove. Tell a story of how Tommy became Tommy. We don't have parents on the show. Where's my parents? Where's our kids? That's a dangerous world. I know people are like, well, social media is a dangerous world now for kids. Hey, bud, 26 years ago, I had no parents and I had a communicator, and I can disappear quickly. If I want to see Kimberly, I can appear, and if Kimberly's parents came, I'm out. That's danger. That is danger, and we dealt with it. And then everyone, these kids have this Apple Watch. Man, we had the first Apple Watch. What are you talking about? Literally. People are like, that's high tech. Now look, FaceTime. I say this a lot. I can FaceTime Zoran. Imagine that. Who wants to go to the command center, buddy? FaceTime me. What's going on? Rangers, here we are. FaceTime everybody? All right, we're on our way. Simple.
Fantastic. Another one here for you.
I'm just wondering, see halfway through the Turbo, were you upset when they took you away as the Red Ranger, or?
When I lost my powers?
When halfway through Turbo you changed powers to a new Red Ranger, were you upset or leaving, or was it time for you to step away from it?
Yeah, no. So, two things. I know what you're saying about when I left the show, passing powers. So when I became the White Ranger, that was the highest rated show that we ever had on the show. It was like, who's this guy? Who's Tommy? Who's Tommy? And in life, it doesn't matter who you are, where you work. Please give your boss 2 weeks notice before you leave. I run a corporation. I hate when people just quit and leave. That's the worst, because then they leave us in a bind. You know what I mean? So when people quit and just stopped, and I'm not saying anything about the three, they had every right to do what they wanted to do, but you have to understand how hard it was for us to film. Now I have to get a guy in a red shirt, and we got to get a guy in a black shirt, and then the camera moves, and then we got to edit it together. So it became hard to film with 3 actors that were replaced by stunt doubles. So when I wanted to leave, I left as the show was on top. I just wanted to leave, and I gave them notice. And I said, hey, I'd like to leave, and I left the classy way. and I'm not saying no other way, they maybe not had a choice to leave the show. Maybe that's what, I don't know what was between them, but for me, as my character, I didn't want to just disappear and have someone just, Tommy Oliver's invisible. You see Dino Thunder, why I'm invisible? You seen the invisible Dr. Oliver on episodes? You know why I was, who's seen Dino Thunder? Okay, you guys know when I turned invisible on the show? There was a couple episodes where I was invisible. That's because I said, man, I can't work. I got to go back to my karate school. They're like, well, what are we going to do? I said, I don't know, make me invisible. So they made me invisible. So I was in LA while they're filming in New Zealand with little strings, and I did the voice. And it was like, he's invisible. I was invisible because I couldn't work. So I didn't want my character to be misunderstood. I didn't want them to make up some weird story, like went to a peace conference and stuff like that. It's weird. So it wasn't difficult. And I'm glad to pass on the torch. But as we passed on the torch, so did we ratings. The ratings started going down and down and down. And the reason for that is not any color, it's the connection of a soap opera. It was 5 years, or that was a continuous story. Me, Kimberly, then they got rid of her, then I got Catherine, right? So it was a continuous story. Now they change it every season. One season, new season, new season. New season. That's the reason why I think it was a highly watched show. It was almost a soap opera for kids. You had to run home and watch it.